I have to tell you that
The discussion is, I'm still concerned that you don't respect anyone who has a different opinion than you. I don't know if they have.
Maybe I need to clarify that.
Yeah, that's
I don't
ridiculous.
think that's true.
Okay.
What we need
I
to
would-
do-
I would pretty much
What we need
say-
to do is not appoint people who will do nothing, in my opinion, but tie up the committee's resources and time. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to appoint people who are efficient.
You know, it's interesting, because Mr. Schlegel, when he was running, came in a couple times to actually sit down with Rosalie Tebbs and go over the budget line by line. And I have to say that I've spoken to a lot of people over the year about the budget, and Mr. Schlegel has more of a handle on it than pretty much anybody that I've spoken to in public that has not been an elected official. So I think he's highly recommended. And Mr. Bear also has spent a lot of time with the budget. So my two picks, and the reason why I reached out to them, is because they have looked at the budget line by line already, and they have a very broad opinion about it, which I think would be very beneficial to the township, and it's put in a lot of time. They've already looked at the budget line by line.
To the contrary, I believe he has a very narrow scope in the budget. I think he's about raising revenue when we are about managing expenses.
Right.
So that's the philosophical difference.
But the FRAC committee is
Very
not
clear
about
on that
raising
now.
revenue. The FRAC committee is about looking at the budget, and you know,
Correct.
that is also one of my
Correct. We are
problems with the
looking at all
FRAC committee,
aspects. We are looking-
is that it doesn't have a process, and it doesn't have a clear understanding of its role and what it can and can't do. I just think that, to be fair, I think that a broader scope of people and representation, as I said, about the services, all the citizens-based things that I have really researched, have a broad sense of the citizens-based and are not exclusionary. There isn't one citizens-based budgeting that I have looked into that is exclusionary. And when I talk about services, which I tried to get into last year, which I was aborted with, and Mr. Ronio at the last meeting said, well, we're not talking about people and cutting people. You have to understand that the people are what provide the services in this town, your DPW workers, your police. And so it's hard to distinguish between personnel and services. And I just think that to have an exclusive committee, as a FRAC committee, as a financial responsible advisory committee, I don't know if there's any that are like this across the country that exclude people. And I've looked into many of them.
Okay. Thank you for your comments, but let me tell you one thing. Nobody's excluding anybody from participating in the budget process. To the contrary, everybody's welcome to participate in the budget process and to contribute when we start doing our budget review, including Mr. Schlegel. So your suggestion that we're excluding anybody is utterly ridiculous. Mr. Mead, please. Mr. Briggs.
The basis, Jerry and I were elected on fiscal responsibility, and the FRAC committee is basically being formulated for that purpose. We have 4 former mayors on there, and I think it's disrespectful to them to say that they're going to be out there rubber stamping our ideas. I mean, it's insulting the fact that we've been up here for a matter of weeks, and you have years and years of budgeting experience on that board. Not only that, but you have professional accountants on that board as well. So the combination of both, all these people looking out for your best interest, taking your comments, taking your ideas, like Mr. Platt gave us some great ideas for the CAC. That's the kind of input we're looking for. It's the open government. Yes, Mr. Schlegel has different ideas. Yes, he's looking at the budget. Great. Perhaps he can give some ideas for the FRAC committee. We're not trying to hold anybody out. All we're trying to do is trying to open this up, bring people into the process who have experience, who have knowledge, who can point to things that might be out of line. We're not out there, with sinister purpose. We're out there to try and open this up and be inclusive and to add intelligence and insight into the process.
Well,
Okay, let's-
I think then you should be
Wait.
voting yes for Carl Schlegel. We're still in the discussion
If
phase.
you would like to discuss,
Yes.
please indicate.
I would like to discuss.
Okay.
I think that if you are true to your words, Mead Briggs, that you will say yes to the Carl Schlegel and Tom Bear nomination, and that it is open to people. I would also like to state at this time that this is not a partisan, this is not Democrats versus Republican. I have had a lot of Republicans reach out, and I would also like to say that Carl Schlegel and Tom Bear are Republicans. So this is not, it's not like I've given Democrats, this is not a partisan issue. I would also like to say that anybody who would like the Dennis Sandow handbook should come and call me, because I can give it to you, and in there he says put mayors and accountants on it. So, that was 14 months ago.
And what are you saying, that's a bad idea?
No, I'm
Okay,
just
let's
saying.
take a roll call, please.
Mr. Ronio?
No.
Mr. Briggs?
No.
Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Ms. Genovese?
Yes.
Mayor Vitarera?
No, thank you. We're going to go now to the public hearing on the CDBG.
Do you think, Mayor, we should take a quick break before that?
Absolutely, thank you very much. Excuse us for a few minutes, please. Let's call it 1:45.